Hey everyone, Heather here. Today we are going to be talking about how to successfully overcome the fear of selling your service. So, if you are a service based entrepreneur, welcome. You're in the right place. If you are someone that wants to increase your pricing, like tackle on that value so you can increase your pricing to really serve others and make a huge impact for people by increasing those prices so that you can charge anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 for your service so that you can hit your income goals quicker to give you that time and money freedom to do what you really love to do. Again, you're in the right place. So glad you're here. I'm Heather Blaze, in case you don't know me. That's what I do. I've been helping business owners since 1996 to succeed in their businesses. So it's been a long time, 20 plus years. I've seen it all. But yeah, I'm glad you're here with me today, and hopefully you'll get some value out of this. Let's see what else. If you're on YouTube, you can like and subscribe. And if you're here live with me today, you can put hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. If you've got any questions or anything, you can put it in the comments. And at the end, I will get there to you. I will respond to you. So let's just see. We got a comment. Oh, awesome. Hey, Larnie. Cool. Okay, great. You can see me. You can hear me. Awesome. So, who's ready to dive in? Let's dive in. How to successfully overcome your fears of selling your service. So, what do you say to an entrepreneur who is just terrified of getting on the phone with a potential client? They're experts in their respective fields. They deliver great results, but they are just afraid to speak to people about their offer. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it all over the place. It happens, believe it or not. These people are literally admirable because their fear usually comes from their experience of the horror of traditional sales calls. Okay. They just don't want to go down that path that is usually like sleazy, cheesy, dishonest, inauthentic. It feels bad, right? Like who wants to come from that place? Who wants to be on the other end of that, right? It feels bad because most of us we kind of lack the skills necessary to get to the problems, get the problems out of what that prospect is dealing with, and the consequences of those problems, and how you as a service-based entrepreneur can come in and be that solution for them. So what we want to do is we want to change the way we have our sales conversations by following a structure that gets to the truth. Okay. The old idea about sales is, how do I convince someone to buy? How do I convince them to work with me? That I'm good enough for what they need. But those conversations should revolve around how you can help a prospect to get to the truth about what's really going on in their life or their business or their relationship, their health, whatever it is that you help them with. Okay. So dig deep into what's really going on and guide them into making a decision of staying there or solving the problem once and for all. Okay. And you just happen to be there that can solve their problem if it's a good fit. Okay. The moment you realize that you're having a truthful conversation, it's not scary at all. So don't focus on yourself. Okay. Don't focus on yourself and making the sale. Shift the focus to your client and the reality that she's in. Okay. What is she currently dealing with? Because the sales call is just the beginning of your relationship with that person. So of course you want to get off to a good start, because otherwise it would be very difficult to continue to help her if during the sales call you've already left a bad impression, right? So coming from that place of neediness or desperation for the sale never works, right? People can feel that, coming across lazy and cheesy. And again, it happens. It's very normal for that to happen because there's never been maybe any formal training on, how to go about it in a different way. Okay. So you want to find out also if you can really help this person and if she's coachable too, because if not, then you'd just be wasting both of your time and money. So remember that the goal is not to get your prospect to say yes. Okay. The goal is to get to the truth, even if that means that you're not a good fit for this person and she'll end up not working with you. That's fine. Right. We have to face our fears because usually the fears are what's keeping us from getting on the phone with the probable client, right? And if we don't get on the phone, how are we going to get a sale, right? Um, it's really, and then as a service-based entrepreneur too, it's really important to determine, are they a good fit? Because you're most likely going to be working with this person and want, spending time with this person. You don't want them to, you want to make sure that they're the right fit, because, life is short. Um, we don't have infinite amount of time, and you're going to be spending time with these people. So you want to make sure that they're a good fit for you, that they're coachable, that they're decisive, that they're resourceful, that you're not having to drag them across to get what they want. You need to, give them the tools so that you can empower them to get the results that they want. Makes sense? So we think that, if she asks me this or that on the call, um, what will I say? What will I say? I'm not going to know how to respond. Right. And then we get all in our heads and everything. If you're a service-based entrepreneur and you're afraid to pick up that phone, um, you know, you'll stay in that comfort zone and find dozens of excuses just to, maybe put an add to cart button instead of getting on that phone. But there, you can leave a lot of money on the table if you're doing that, right? And it's harder to get people results if you're not, if you're just having that automatic thing, right? It's like, are they a good fit? Are you going to be able to help them? Are you going to get good results for them? If you don't get on the phone, you're not going to know any of those things. If it's just a add to cart button, it's probably going to end up being a lower ticket item as well, and not people who are really that serious about fixing what it is that they want to fix, right? And then you're not making that impact that you're really wanting to make, which is probably part of the reason why you got into that service based business in the first place, right? But at the end of the day, the greatest thing that we can do for the people that we serve is to get them to have that honest conversation that exposes the real problem of what's going on. Some people think that there's that the real problem is just the symptoms of the problem. Like, I get a lot of calls from people that say, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And that's the problem. I can't invest in myself because I don't have the money. But that's not the problem. That's the symptom of the problem. The reason why you don't have any money is because you haven't figured out the problem that is keeping you from getting that money, right? You haven't set up the systems effectively in your business to get the right people finding you, calling you, and paying you consistently. You haven't figured out how to do a sales call properly in order to enroll them once they do find you and call you, right? So those would be the problems. And then the symptom of that problem would be that you don't have any money, right? So you got to fix the problem first in order to get what you want. Make sense? So, getting people to have that honest conversation that exposes that real problem and what needs to be done to remedy it. Make sense? Um, so, for most people, when they have that aha moment where they come to face with that root of the problem, they would want to do something about it. And they probably want to do it immediately, right? Because if you're constantly, for example, let's go back to that same example. If you're constantly not making money, right, you'll have that honest conversation with them. Okay, well, this is the reason why you're not making the money. It's because you don't have the clarity around how to set up those systems to get, the people finding you, calling you, and paying you consistently so that you can have the money, right? How much longer do you want to keep going like that? How much longer do you want to keep not making $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month? Because each month that goes by, that's money you're losing, right? Each money that you're not making, that's money that you're losing. So it's better to get resourceful, find the money, invest in fixing that problem so that you can start getting the result. Make sense? And most people will want to do that immediately. So just focus on completely on helping and serving the other person instead of getting so bent up on making the sale or on your personal issues that have nothing to do with what the client is faced with. Okay. You got to just get out of the way, get out of their way, get them to get out of their way too. Right. So getting out of your way, getting them to get out of their way. Hopefully that makes sense. The less you think about yourself, the more amazing things come from that and through you, right? You're just going to speak your truth because you're the expert and what you're talking about. So you don't have to think about it too much. You're just going to be asking them the questions that are going to help them realize what the real problem is and help you get an understanding and clarity around what that problem is. Okay. So some of you might also have that fear of saying something that might offend or make the other person feel bad. But again, just have a real conversation where you sincerely want to help the other person. So speak your truth. Okay. Really, really, really important. And be on their side. Be that advocate for them. See their strengths and like how wonderfully wired she is. Okay. Then acknowledge the problem. Acknowledge those areas and talk about how you can resolve those hand in hand. Okay. So look at it this way that um you're just two human beings who are trying to get to the truth, and fear doesn't have a place in that quest. Okay, so build that confidence in how you can help get someone out of their misery. Okay, because they're out there suffering, right? And this is the service that you offer, right? You offer this service. Maybe it's misery, maybe it's more like a desire, right? But there's obviously something going on. There's obviously something that isn't happening that they want, and you can get them to what they do want, right? So just coming from that place of authenticity to get them from one spot to the next. Okay. And please don't be afraid to talk about the money either. Okay. Money's so important, right? Our whole society revolves around money. And a lot of people have these money blocks and they think, oh, they can't afford it. They can't afford it because I can't afford it type of thing, right? So whenever you're resonating out is what's going to come back to you. And you don't know. You don't know if they can afford it or not. You don't know what they're paying, what they can pay. I had a conversation with one of my clients the other day. Before she signed on with me, she was finding it challenging to even charge, I keep saying $60 an hour, but I think she was charging $100 an hour. Regardless, not that big of a difference, right? She was having a hard time getting people to pay that. I think it's 8 weeks later, 7, 8 weeks later, she got her first $3,000 client, right? It blew her mind. She didn't know what she didn't know before coming on, right? And so we just set up all the right things and worked on her mindset to get her to be not afraid to talk about money, right? I mean, we live on money and we can't make an impact without the money. So we can't keep going without money. So, and people get better results when they invest in themselves. And the more they invest, the more they're going to show up to do what's necessary to get the result as well, right? I'm sure you have a service where it might be done for you, but a lot of times even when it's done for you, you need that client to do certain things, and if you're just giving things away at a discount or cheaply, they're not going to put as much effort into it as if they would make a larger investment, right? Because the more they invest, the more they're going to want to get their money's worth, so they're going to show up, they're going to do what it takes to get their money's worth. Make sense? Because I know a lot of service based entrepreneurs who go on and on and on, and they speak to the potential clients, but they're simply terrified to discuss how much their services are worth or how much they cost, right? They're not thinking about the worth actually. And that's the disconnect, because when you're really confident, when you're really certain that your offer is a bargain, okay? It's really worth what it is. And that your clients are willing, your ideal clients that you are attracting that are actually calling you, like when it's set up properly, and what they're willing to pay for that service, okay? Because I walk my clients through a lot of exercises to figure that out, and it's typically between $3,000 and $10,000. But again, it depends on a lot of things, depends on what it is. But most services, you can bundle enough value in there and then be able to communicate the value effectively to whereas when you present the price, it comes across as a bargain. Okay, a bargain for that potential client. Okay. So then, and you're coming with this knowing, and you're coming with this certainty, and you're coming with this confidence when you say what the price is, right? And it's worth that or more, right? So they're like, I understand your problem, like the back of my hand, and I have the solution to it, but then it's going to involve money, right? And because you'll have to pay me, and that's going to get really uncomfortable if you're not in that space, if you don't have that certainty, if you don't have that knowing of how to communicate the value effectively, if you don't have that knowing of what that ideal client would be eager to pay, right? Which is based on data that we uncover, right? There's ways to uncover that. And it's a step-by-step method to uncovering what an ideal client would be eager to pay for a particular service. Okay. There's a way to determine that. So when you have that clarity around how to do that, and you have that clarity around, no, this price is amazing. Um, you show up that way, and then the client, you're able to communicate that value effectively so that the client easily enrolls. Okay. Instead of having to convince them or anything, they're just like, where do I pay? How do I pay? Okay. But you have to realize that if a client doesn't have enough skin in the game, right? If you're underpricing for what you're doing, again, they're just not going to show up and do the work that you need them to do in order to get them the results that they hired you for. Okay? So the money they pay is their investment. And if you undercharge them, then you're shortchanging them, right? A lot of people think like, "Oh, I can't charge a lot because I'm ripping them off." No, it's the opposite. You're shortchanging them because you're not giving them the opportunity to really commit. Okay, let that sink in for a minute while I take my sip of water. All right. Because the truth is, like I said, the more money a client commits, the more of herself she'll commit to as well. Okay. And the key here is to be enrolling people who are committed to getting a life altering result. Okay. That you're offering, even if that means that they have to shell out a few $1,000s. Okay. When they see that you're authentic, that you're sincere in your desire to help them, that will make them feel really good. And they won't even think that you're just in it for the money. Okay. There's a huge distinction um, like between simply focusing on getting that credit card, right? And being focused on getting the result in 2 or 3 months. Okay. Believe me, people can tell. Okay. But when you're pricing yourself at a higher rate, it automatically kind of makes you seem more valuable as well, right? Like, like you're the expert, you know what you're talking about, and that you can get the results. I mean, it has there's so many different reasons for charging that, right? But again, not focusing on it, it's about the client, right? It's about what their needs are, and what results you can get for them. But and then serving them at that higher level, right? And charging them a premium serves them at that higher level, because then they're going to commit, and then they're going to be able to get that result much quicker. Okay. So be that service based entrepreneur who is all about serving others who are willing to be coached, okay, who are determined to succeed, and will do whatever is necessary to get that outcome that you promise, okay, that you promise them. So picture a doctor, okay? Like, you cannot just have a website that tells people what you do, right? And then they just click on the add to cart button and purchase, whatever medicine they think they want. Doesn't work like that, right? Like, that would be complete malpractice. So you need to have that conversation to see if you're a fit, to diagnose the condition or the situation or whatever, understand what it's costing them, understanding the pain she's experiencing, right? And then assess if you can really help that person out, and if she's ready to take action to get the solution that she needs, right? So there's a lot that goes on during that call. So if you're a coach or a consultant or an expert, right? It's the same way. You ask, like, what's really going on? What's the problem that you really have? And they're going to tell you the answer, right? Is this something that I can help you with? Right? Like, you're thinking that, like, is this something that I can really help this person with, once you've asked them these questions. And if not, then maybe I can steer you in the direction of someone who can help. Okay. I do it all the time. I get on calls with people all the time. I listen to what's really going on. I see, where they're at, what's going on. Maybe they're a good fit for me. Maybe they're not. If not, I'm happy to send them somewhere else. And I don't have to, the reason why I can do that too is because I have the right system set up automatically to get more and more people finding me that typically are the right fit. So I'm not really attached to that specific person, right? It's like, I know tomorrow I have 2 or 3 more calls. I know tomorrow my team's got 2 or 3 or 4 more calls. So it doesn't come from that neediness place or that desperation or like that focus on, oh, I need the money. And because I charge a premium, it doesn't take that many clients for me to hit my financial goals either, right? So it gives me that time freedom to be able to rest and to be able to show up and go in deeper with them too. So I can show up as my best self, and it gives me time to go in deep with my clients to get them that result. Okay. So it's like win, 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 win all the way around. But anyway, I steer them, like I said, I'll steer them to the direction of somebody that can help them if I can't. But to find all these things out, you got to have that conversation with your potential client, right? So it's your duty to do so. You don't have to have this like thick skin or be an all alpha female, right? To do all this and be a good fit and be good at it. You don't have to be aggressive in any way. You don't have to come across as sleazy, cheesy, or in any way. It's a very authentic conversation, speaking your truth, asking questions. You just have to uncover the truth behind what your prospect is suffering from, what they're dealing with, and if you can be of service to them. And of course, this is all assuming that you truly care for the well being of your clients. And I'm sure you do. Okay. So when you get to that sweet place where you don't really care about yourself, okay, you're just focused on your people, right? Then that's where you start enrolling one client after another because then they can sense how genuine you are. Okay. If you're coming from this lack or scarcity because you haven't had a sale in a while, because you haven't honed in on those sales skills, right? Or not understanding like what a sales syntax is, how this all works. Like there's a framework that to follow and there's specific questions that need to be asked, but they all go hand in hand with every aspect of your business around that ideal client. So again, it's like if you don't have clarity around how to effectively communicate your value to these ideal clients. If you're not sure, what goes on in their minds, because you haven't done the work to figure that out, which is what I do with all my clients. We figure out, exactly what to say, exactly what questions to ask. There's a framework to follow so that it easily just guides people into a sale. Okay. Remember that whoever you get on the phone with, okay, is in pain. And so you gotta uncover what's going on, like get to the truth of it. Um, like you don't want to force pain, but you just want to uncover like what's really going on. Why are you in pain? Why are you suffering? Maybe I can help you. She's there like not by some random accident, right? She's there because she's trying to solve a problem and she is hoping that you might be of help. So do not be afraid to pick up that phone because the world needs your expertise. They need your gifts and you're right? You've had your own experiences different than anybody else. You've got your own knowledge, your own wisdom, your own expertise. There's people out there who are just waiting to hear from someone like you. Okay. It's not about getting the sales. It's about helping people. Okay. By having those authentic conversations with them, just like a doctor would have with her patient. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. Let me just double check, see if there's any questions. Not seeing any questions here. But do let me know. Okay. Do let me know in the comment section. Oh, there's someone. Let's see what she says. Oh, where'd you go? That is powerful. Every person on the call is suffering from some kind of pain. Yeah, absolutely, Peggy. Good to see you. You get to you showing up all the time. It's awesome. And yeah, I mean, amazing, amazing, amazing. So yeah, so I hope this has been helpful. Do let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. And if you want to learn more about the process that it takes to have complete strangers become paying clients in record time, I'm talking about within 24 to 48 hours of finding you, just type in the word clients in the comments and I or someone from my team will get back to you with a DM. So thank you for being here, everyone. Let me just double check the comments. No comments. Cool. I'm here every Thursday at 3 p.m. You can come into my Facebook group, which is the Business Growth Blueprint for high ticket service based entrepreneurs. High tickets that sell, something like that. Business Growth Blueprint on Facebook. You can come in there. Got lots of valuable content in there, and always always welcome to ask questions and stuff in there about your particular situation. And you can go to my YouTube channel. It's Heather Blaze. Pretty simple. Heather Blaze on YouTube if you want any more information like this that can help you up level, boost your business to the next level, um, start making sales in record time. You don't need to be doing a whole bunch of crazy marketing stuff. There's a very simple 5-step process that my clients use to get the right people, finding them, calling them, and paying them on autopilot so that they can start making money in record time. Anyway, thank you everyone, and I will see you again next week. Take care.